Hey there, Jeff Kamke here with Better Abundance. So today's topic, I want to share with you the strategy that we used not too long ago to unlock a dead asset, meaning something that I owned free and clear that was not producing cash flow or benefiting me really in any other way. And we turned that into cash flow. We opened up that asset and started getting lifeblood out of it. So this is something that the middle class is not trained to do. The middle class is taught to avoid debt like the plague. Just Dave Ramsey teaches this, and so many others do. That if you have debt, get rid of it. Cut up your credit cards. Don't use debt. And there's a big misconception around debt that I want to just dispel before I go further. So if you truly have debt, debt means you own a car and you owe $50,000 on that car, and the car's worth 40. You are in debt $10,000. You're upside down. You actually have a liability there. If you, on the other hand, though, if you owned a car and it was valued at 50,000 and you only owed 25,000, Dave Ramsey would still call that debt. You need to get that $25,000 worth of debt off your back. Well, in true finances, if you were looking at a balance sheet, you would actually have $25,000 of equity. Now, another thing that differs between the wealthy and the way the wealthy function and think about money and the way they deal with their finances versus the middle class and the way we're trained, if we want to free up money or if we want to acquire money from an asset, say a vehicle, since we're talking about this example, the middle class thinking is I would sell the asset. I would sell the real estate. I would sell the car. I would sell the fine art or whatever it would be, right? You're going to get rid of that. And that from the sale, you're going to acquire new money or income is going to be created from that process. The wealthy, though, they say, well, if you sell the asset, and this is more so in a business sense than it is for personal finances if you don't own a business, but if you have a business and you sell a piece of equipment or a vehicle or something that you had been getting tax deductions on, you now owe taxes on the sale of that asset. The wealthy, though, what they do is they hold on to the assets. See, the wealthy know that they want to always remain in control of their assets. And so what the wealthy will do is if they own real estate, they won't sell the real estate to purchase more real estate. They'll take the equity or the value of the real estate and go to the bank and use that as collateral to acquire more money. So they're not acquiring money from a sale and having a taxable event take place. They're getting a loan from the bank and using the bank's money to go buy another apartment complex or more real estate or more equipment or whatever the situation is. They're using the asset and the bank's money. So they're profiting on the bank's money, but because in their business, that loan is a liability to them. They can get a tax write-off on the interest, and there's no taxable event for profit or income on that loan. So it's a superior way of doing it when you are of wealth consciousness and understand that you can turn things that are a dead asset, that are locked up, there's value there, but you can't get access to it unless you either sell it or allow the bank to provide you money from that. So there's a strategy that we just did. We had two vehicles paid off. One of them was my old work truck. We still had it. Hadn't really ever decided whether I wanted to sell it or not. And I knew about these principles several years ago as a strategy to help unlock capital and money that you can put to work for you. See, we always want money to be working for you. And so we took a truck that had over 300,000 miles. It's over 20 years old. There's several things that still need to be fixed on it. And I haven't driven it a whole lot. And it's worth, what the bank said is over $10,000. I think the bank said it was closer to $12,000 or $14,000. I could probably sell the vehicle for a few $1,000s because of the things that are wrong with it and the high mileage on it and different things. So I could sell that and put a few $1,000s to work, or I can keep the asset, keep it in my control, and allow the bank to say, no, the value is the retail value. And right now we're in a time frame where all cars are overpriced right now because of such a high demand and low production, and used cars are all being eaten up. So it's a fantastic time for us to pull the trigger on this. And we also have our minivan that has been paid off. So we We went to the bank, said, hey, we'd like to collateralize these. How much will you give us for them? Well, they gave us almost $25,000 between both of them that I can put to work inside of our program. So the program that we chose, and this would vary depending on how we're working with you and what strategies we use based on your goals and your current, scenario and situation financially. But we put it in a program called Novatech, which is a Forex hedge fund. And it's been paying out historically over 3% per week. You can compound those earnings. It's been around for almost 3 years now. Excuse me. And I've been in it for over 6 months now, and it's worked very well. So we turned that debt asset of those two vehicles that we have them paid off. We're still driving the one, the other one's just sitting. And the value of them, the bank said, is based on the retail value. So we got a bunch of money that we can go put to work. And for us, yes, we have to make the payment on the loan, but that's only 1 week's earnings from the Forex hedge fund that we have money in. And the rest of the month is profit. We're profiting on the bank's money. So we're making somewhere between $500 to $700 per week off of that amount of money that we put in there. We didn't put 100% of it in, we put the majority of it in there. And it's been turning out very nicely so far. So that is a strategy that can be used if you have high interest debt. You would want to say, well, I could get an auto loan or refinance a paid off vehicle, or maybe it's equipment that you could collateralize and be paying a much lower interest rate as a strategy to pay down and accelerate debt. If you have a lot of credit cards from department stores or just a Visa MasterCard from Chase or Capital One or wherever, that they're charging you 18, 20, 24, 30% interest on that. And you could get an auto loan by refinancing something that's an asset, it's paid off, and freeing up and unlocking value that can be put to work for you to be saving you interest costs and time and stress. That's what debt does to you. It costs you time. It costs you a lot of interest. You end up paying way more for whatever you purchased than it was valued at brand new. And then the stress, the emotional weight that debt carries with it. Debt holds you back from creating more abundance. And so there's so many reasons why doing a strategy like this can go to work, put money to work for you is so advantageous. So all you really need to do is have an asset that's been paid off or has equity in it. So you could be using even a home. My best friend and colleague just recently did this with a home, and we're going to have a separate video training on that specifically, on how to unlock the value of your home and turn it into cash flow or part of your financial strategies to create more wealth. There's several strategies that you can do, but unlocking the value inside of a home or any type of asset is a fantastic thing to do. So really all you need to do though is have the asset, have good enough credit to get a loan. I know for the last couple of years when we've done different moves like that, you need to have a credit score in the lower 600s, if not better, to get better interest rates and have a better chance of having that loan be accepted. And then you just work with your bank and you can have access to that cash. You can unlock that asset. So if you have any questions about this, how it might work or what conversations you need to have with the bank, it's part of what we offer is that support. So please reach out if you have any questions, but it's just a simple tool that you can either be paying off a debt or higher interest credit cards or different things like that. Or you could be using like we did, where we took the bank's money, put it to work in a program that's going to be making money on the bank's money. That just increased our cash flow. It increased the passive income we have by probably about 25%, which gets us to, at the time, about 2/3 to 3/4 of our monthly income is all passive now between similar methods like this, where we were taking money and doing a strategic move with it and putting it to work for us instead of us working for money. Our money, or in this case, our assets, turned into money that are now working for us on our behalf, so that when I'm doing what I want to do, and as I'm working out of a landscaping business that my heart's no longer in, and I am going to be doing less and less of that over the next 6 months. By the next year, I will be completely out of that business. And so solely focusing on this business, this is where my heart's at. But while I'm doing this, like while I'm making this video right now, I've got money making me money right now. That's a fantastic feeling to have. That gives you freedom. It gives you a sense of confidence and security that you're not going to get when you're just constantly trading your time for money. When you know your money that you've already worked for is working for more money and it's getting you ahead, it's freeing you up, it's giving you more time with your family, the things you love to do. Maybe it's golf or fishing. You want to be able to hang out with the guys more often, or the gals, go on shopping trips and do those kinds of things. You have more freedom to do the things that you want to do that are near and dear to your heart when you do things like this and unlock assets that are just stuck. They're locking up value that you could be putting to work in your life for your benefit now and later. So again, if you have questions, please give a comment with this or reach out to us. And hopefully this training was insightful and gave you some ideas on what to be able to do. If you want some ideas to help with that, please give us a shout out. We'll be happy to help with you. So that's it for this training, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.